After 7 foundations and fault lines, crisp autumn air in the capital carried with it the end of impending change. My partnership with Evening had evolved beyond a professional lines into something more profound, cornerstone of my rebuild. We hadn't labeled it, hadn't rushed into declaration. Instead, we existed in a state of comfortable delivery progression. We saw our evenings discussing everything from the thermodynamic efficiency of urban planning of the real deal. We went to the war, the way to prepare letters, and found a rhythm in our domestic, and that felt the deal. And deeply red green desk and initiative was a longer, a decorate flag. It was a tangible, measurable ship. Our factories were converting to solar and wind power. Our logistics network is being overheard over the Cal Sea delicacy. The financial markets once were not rewarding our stock with consistent gains. Validate the long-term strategy. A board had viewed my initial proposal as a risky gamble, now treated me over a newfound deferred. Say they saw the results, and they saw the unwavering conviction behind it was the longest in the air. I was the architect of a new initial state. In turn, was flourish. Our partnership with my company provided her research team with unprecedented A deal, state he. He woke her work with a renewed fire, felt that had been died in delivering for scraps of funding and bureaucratic indifference. Seeing her thrive, seeing her ideas take root in the real world, was a source of quiet, constant pride from my mother. Everly as to Observer hosted another dinner a few weeks after our first meeting. This time it was just the 4 of us, my mother, Evening, myself, and Arthur, retired diplomat. A conversation was intimate transition. Ching. On legacy responsibility and the nature of change. Arthur, a man who had navigated the treats waters of international politics, looked at the seaside. You've navigated difficult transition with remarkable grace safely, he said, swilling his brand. Many men in your position would have drowned in resentment or surrounded themselves with sick funds to rebuild their ego. You chose a different path. You chose substance. It wasn't a choice, beyond of my ability, I replied. Honestly, it was a choice born of necessity. I looked at the wreckage and realized the only thing worth saving was my own integrity. Everything else, the company, my reputation, even my relationships, had to be rebuilt from that foundation. And what of this foundation? Evan asked her, gay, steady on me. Is it secure? It feels secure? I said, stronger than it has in a long time, Arthur. TED foundations are rarely tested until the storm returns. All on to that feeling. It will serve you well. His words spoken with the weight of experience settled in mind, and like this, it was recited, his retired. But I couldn't let the specter of future storms cloud the present sunlight. My life was finally alive. I was leading a company that mattered, working with a woman who challenged and inspired me, and living in a city that for the first time felt like a place I belonged. Not just a place at the first trimming in my new foundation. It came not from a rival corporation or a political scandal in the list, and arrived in the form of a phone call from my younger brother, and I from the phone call when was reserved, analytical. He was charismatic and impulse. He was the family's great hope for more modern last state future, a man who wanted to make his own in the world, far from the shadow of a father's industrial empire. He had always been close, but our lives had diverged dramatic. I'd taken the help of the family. He pursued his own phones with mixed success. That we need to talk, he said, his voice unusually subdued. And you come to the club now. The urgency of his phone and all. I was the evening I had to step in for a letter and drove to the exclusive capital A place where deals were made in whispers and legacy were cemented in a single musket. Jillian was waiting for me in a private booth, nursing a dream.